YouTube. It's been quite a while since I've done the last devlog video. It's been a couple of days, and reason being for that is there was like crap ton of errors that I couldn't that I didn't really know what I was doing. It's my first time going through this whole process. I've done some type of networkings before, but I've never done it using the Unity engine. So I was just kind of powering through it whenever I was going through it in the first couple of devlogs, and I would just get more errors and kind of come up with short workarounds and stuff like that. So I've spent like the last couple of days just going through and just de-reasting the entire system just to make sure that everything runs properly. So obviously when I boot this up, you'll see not much has changed. Everything is dominantly the same. Character selection, yada yada yada, all that stuff is the same. Some of the stuff might have changed slightly, but I highly doubt it. But single player and multiplayer both work now. Before single player wasn't working, that was spewing crap. I would go into the multiplayer, and then the first problem I was running into was people weren't getting experience. Like the master client, since the master client is the one handling all of the processes for all of the enemy AI and stuff like that, if you weren't the master client, whenever an enemy would die, it would be trying to give you experience, but you'd only get experience on the master client's computer and all sorts of other weird stuff like that. And there was another issue with spawning, and enemies wouldn't spawn because I was going according to the player and all this other stuff. So good news is it's all de-reasted. It all works pristine now. You have enemies, they spawn in at a decent distance, yada yada yada. You can kill them, gain experience. All that stuff is good. So this video is going to be fairly short because I don't have much to very much show you. But I may come back through here and do more editing and add in more parts. So yeah, that's all for now. So I really like the idea of power-ups and stuff like that, since I'm already going with an MMO-esque feel with tanks and special classes and stuff like that. That whole character class system with healers and mages and all that stuff, and all inside of this tank thing. So I came up with the idea. This is my book of everything. Just come over here real quick. Whatever. My book of everything. I keep all of the stuff on the game inside of here, if you can see any of this. But the neat thing that I'd like to show you is here I have some stuff on I have some stuff on character classes and their abilities and how that's going to variate and whatnot. So as you see, you have a tank, a mage, an elemental, and a rogue. Rogue just basically is going to be able to run faster, and tanks basically are harder to kill. Essentially, it's going to be what their power-ups are going to be. But the interesting ones is the mage and the elemental. Mages are going to have an energy effect, right? So there's going to be an energy meter for everyone, and then the more you use your abilities, the more that energy meter goes down. This energy meter is also going to get used in a shield implementation eventually. That way everyone can have their own personal little barrier around them. That way less bullets hit them and whatnot as they level up and as they get their energy up and stuff like that. And energy is going to be able to upgrade just like the rest of everything else. But anyways, mages have, it sounds kind of weird, but mages have elemental effects. So they have fire, they have ice, and they have lightning. The three big ones that I'm going to be using right now, working on. So I had to figure out some type of system where I could charge up a bullet, and then whenever you shoot the bullet carries that effect, and then it hits the character, and then the character gets a buff according to whatever it was they just got hit with. So I did this through this really weird interesting but somehow effective system of attaching scripts and detaching scripts as bullets fly around and hit them. But enough of me talking. Without further ado, I'm just going to single player because I can get in the game faster. Without further ado, I give to you. Oop, hold up. We have fire. And you can shoot someone with the fire elemental effect. And then they will periodically take damage. And then eventually they die. It just runs on a timer in the background, which I'm trying. I added in some physics stuff to where it like jerks the character around a little bit as they get hit, but that implementation isn't like 100% perfect yet, so it's not really seeable that much. But it is there. It is working. You can see that they shoot normal bullets now, and if I actually cut this off over here and go back to none, I will shoot normal bullets as well. So now I just have to, I implemented fire, so now I just have to implement all the other two abilities, which shouldn't be too hard. Ice is essentially the same thing, except it freezes the character. Make any enemy you hit not be able to move, and then electricity. So I'll come back to you to this when I get that YouTube. Been a long and stressful last few days, but I think I finally have some decent progress. Finally implemented most of the things that I said I was going to implement. Most of them. They're not all done. So I'm going to work in the single player area. So first there's the tank class, right? And I decided to throw some stuff into that just to play around with what his abilities will be. So the first one I thought was neat is this. Just to show that off real quick. And it does have functionality to it, so they can try and shoot me, but won't be very effective. Oh, here goes my shield, but I have another one, so it's okay. Come on. See. So there's that, and now this is perfect timing to show my second ability, which is that. It's like a grenade. Yep, and then I spew airs. That's what I got. Fundamentally, it's functional. It's been a while. Had a very long time, and I finished all of the engine work, or at least I thought I did, and I began setting up a level. And this is a level I created, which actually looks quite nice. It has some very intricate hallways and setups and stuff like that, which should flow nicely as level design would go. But as you can imagine, it's tedious as shit, and it's inefficient, and it's just bad. So I've come to the conclusion I really don't have an option but to create a level editor. So that pretty much extends the development process like a week. Because a toolkit is very, very, very tedious and takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to make sure you're doing right. And if you do this toolkit wrong, then it's going to create more problems later on, so you have to do it right the first time. So alright, I'm going to get back to work. After long, merciless work, finally got that editor working the way I wanted to. Doesn't work quite the way I planned on it originally, but it got pretty dang close to how I intended on it working. And I mean, I don't know what this editor is really just for me at the moment, but it may get switched around and may be used for other people if I get other people on the team. Who knows? So here we go. And shabam. Right? You got your hierarchy. You got a list of objects. It gives you object type, the vector, the thing. Nothing's labeled yet. I'll work on that later. And that's if I even get any other people on board to work with this. But as you can see, I have all of the objects and stuff, and I can come in here and I can select, say, the floor tile, and I can drag and place floor tiles. And then I noticed that I screwed up right there, so I undo that and I hit delete, and boom, now they're gone. And every single object inside of here has a corresponding object in there. If I select an object, it gives me its information. And I can even then select it and hit delete, and I can delete all the objects this way as well. And I also have multiple object types and all that good stuff. All that jazz. I didn't place tiles, that's why. Yeah. Place tiles. There we go. Yeah. All that jazz. It works. It functions. Shazam. But then, of course, the most important part is I can then save objects. Save them inside here. And here is just the test level that I have pre-built. Give it a second. Give it quite a few seconds. There it is. Alright, there you go. As you can see, it saves it as an image file, or an image, it's sort of an image file, and then I can then go back through and read all of the data. Yada yada yada. Straightforward, simple, gets the job done. Don't really need very much more than that.